Hello, and welcome to Dickinson's Real Deal. On this show, I help members of the public to get the very best price for their antiques and valuables. They get a choice. Sit down with one of our regular dealers. They're going to try and tempt you with a cash offer on the table today.
£50.
No, I think my son would want a better present than that.
You're not pulling that one on me.
If you don't think that's enough money, there's an alternative. You can gamble, place those same goods into an auction in the hope that you will get a little bit more money there. I will be on hand at all times to help and advise you. Now today the show comes to you from Skipton in Yorkshire. There's a wonderful crowd of people. They've been here since early this morning. They are determined to do business. They want to sit down with our dealers. They want to walk away. Well, you know what they want. They want the real deal.
Our first item of the day has definitely lit up Joe Brayshaw's face.
I've got a nightlight. Looks pretty and girly, and I quite like the look of it.
Sounds promising. Let's see if Jane can persuade Joe to part with her cash.
Have you had it long?
I've had it for about 20 years.
And why are you here today with it?
Because it's stuck up in a wardrobe and it's not getting any use.
So did you buy her in a shop or?
I bought her at a car boot.
It's ready as a car boot. Okay, and do you know anything about her?
I know she's French, 1920s.
Well, I think she's lovely. If you turn her upside down, you can see where the lamp fitting goes in. That comes out, and the wire goes through the hole in the back. And I suppose, have you ever had her lit?
No, I haven't, no.
I assume she just sort of glows gently. She appears to be in perfect order, doesn't she? Love the colour. Love the colour. She's got marks on the base where she says Roby Paris made in France. Right. Okay. I suppose you want some money for her. Start with £100. How are we doing? Start.
No.
Well, it's a good start, though.
It's a good start, yeah.
150.
Getting there.
170. Pretty colours.
No, not yet.
So where do you want to be?
A bit more than that.
We swap that for that. So you're now up to £200. What do you think?
Is that your final offer?
I think I'm going to stick with my 200.
Now, just before you answer that, let me just tell you what the independent valuers, what the auctioneers think and what I think. 150 to 200 is one estimation, 2 to 3 is the other. I have to tell you the 2 to 3 I think is being adventurous. I think at £200 it's honest, it's fair, it's a strong offer, and my advice is this: never look a gift horse in the mouth. Take your money and then let Jo either sell it or maybe keep it for the night she goes out in Newcastle.
So, you've heard David's advice.
I think we've got a deal.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Thank
Thanks for
you.
bringing it in. And now you can tell me what you paid for it.
I paid £1.50.
Oh, done, girl.
Well done indeed, Jane. That's a pretty spectacular profit.
I know she wanted it. I pushed her all the way and I'm happy.
Across the room, Leslie's brought in a carriage clock on behalf of her mum. But how much is she hoping for?
Between 100 and 150. Hopefully 150.
Tony Gearing can't wait to get a closer look.
I am a little bit excited. It's in its box. I think I noticed that it's got curved brass, which is quite unusual, so hopefully it's a really good maker.
Well, let's see if Leslie gets what she wants for her mum.
And what have you brought in for me today?
Yeah, it belonged to my grandma.
Ah,
Still in its case.
let's have a look here, shall we? Little French number there. The French made probably most of the carriage clocks of the 19th and 20th century. Very good at it they were as well. Very fine movements, great timekeepers, great quality engineering. Also, I presume this comes up.
Yeah.
So that's And this one comes up as well. So, yeah.
So it's like a display case.
Yeah. So you can see it in its case and see the time, and keep out the sort of dust and air, and that's what we're trying to do, protect the movement, which is why the movement's all encased in its own airtight container. And it's lovely. It's got its original case and its original key, double-sided, one for the chime and one for the workings, so for the movement. Does it work?
It
ticks along nicely.
Yeah.
Let's see what I can make you smile with out of here, shall we? I'm going to go 20, 40.
I'm not smiling.
I can see that. 60, 80, and that's got to get you smiling.
Not yet.
Just humming.
Yes. Not sure about that.
We'll go round it in at 100.
I think you could maybe do a little bit better because of all the things that you pointed out about having the case and the key.
But it is what it is. It's commercial, mass-produced. It's not any of the great makers. There's not even a maker's mark in it that I can see anywhere. So I'm going to stick with 100. But let's see what David has to say.
Well, I think what Tony says is right, but in some ways, when you think about it, if you were starting off and you were making your first purchase, you wouldn't be doing too badly if you bought this little carriage clock. The estimation in the sale room today is 100 to 150. And I would have thought it probably is worth 120, 130 quid in the sale room. It's probably worth another 20 quid. Now, in recent times, items like this haven't done well, but I think that is a clean, honest item, and people at the sale room, apart from the trade, retail people will recognise that and think, that's a clean little clock, and it's worth its money.
Thank you.
I'm going to go another 20 on that. It is absolutely a sweetie.
I think that's fair enough, to be honest. I think if you allow for the commission that you might get at the auction, then that's fair.
And hopefully I'll make a tenner.
Hopefully. But my mum will have to give me some commission, I think, for doing all this work for her.
Between you and your mum, my darling. I'm sure she will. No, thank you very much. Thanks for coming in.
Got what's roughly the figure that I'd like. Yeah, I hope my mum's going to be happy with it too. I want a cocktail out of it at least.
Cheers to that, Leslie. Next up, Don has done his homework and is hoping that Henry Nichols might be the right dealer to buy his reproduction bronze horse.
Yeah, I've seen Henry on the programme previously, and he seems to be a very good dealer. He seems to give very fair prices, so I might have a chance of making a slight profit, maybe.
Henry likes the look of it, but will he be put off because it's a reproduction?
What an impressive piece we're looking at. It's decorative, it's a good subject. It's just a real shame that it's not right.
Watching on the sidelines to ensure fair play is the Duke and auctioneer Kevin Kendall.
What do you know about it?
Well, I've discovered it's not an original old bronze.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know much about it otherwise.
Okay, well, you've hit the nail on the head, Don, to be honest.
Yeah.
As much as what we've got here is a really impressive piece of kit, it's got everything going for it. It's a polo subject, which is really popular. It is actually made of bronze. It's just a shame it is a reproduction. So the question is, where did you find such an impressive piece as this?
In a car boot sale.
A car boot?
Seriously.
I bet you thought you were onto a winner, didn't you?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
If it was the real McCoy, I'd be putting down bundles of money onto the table.
I understand.
But it's not. So I'm going to put some money out and see if I can tempt you. But bear in mind that we can buy this sort of thing still today.
Now, Kevin, when this first came through the door, from about 100 yards, I thought, oh, what have we got here? As I drew closer to it, it then was apparent that what we have got is a modern reproduction bronze, perhaps of an old subject matter. As it is, as a decorative item, how have you valued this?
I think I put about a 150 to 200 estimate, purely on its aesthetic value.
Okay. Well, I feel the same, and the independent valuers, they've said 150, 200 pounds. Let's see what Henry says about it. There's a lot there for your money.
So Don, let's put some money on the table. 20. 40. Don't worry, there's more coming. 60. 80 pounds. That's a very definite, very disappointed looking Don.
That's a no.
That's a definite no.
Sorry.
Okay. Let's go a little bit more. 100. How's that seem?
Keep going.
Keep going. I don't know, what does David think?
Well, Don, it's a difficult one. What we've got here is a fairly recent casting of a very dramatic, quite glamorous bronze. If this was a 19th century bronze by Bonheur or by one of the great Amulaire type bronze producers, we would be talking thousands. But £100 still doesn't sound a lot of money for a large bronze. So I'm going to say it's probably worth a bit more than that. You know if it's near what you paid or if it's a lot less. So I'm going to leave you with Henry.
Thank you, David. So we're at £100. Am I far away?
Ooh. A little bit.
A little bit, okay. Well, let's see if I tempt you a little bit more. 120. £140.
I'd like some more, please, Henry.
£140 is on the table, Kevin. No commission to pay. Can you do better in the sale room?
I think if I was the owner, I would actually be selling it now and cutting my losses.
OK. My advice would be the same. If he's paid more, maybe now's the time to get out of this object. Or, if he fancies a gamble, well, that's up to him.
To be honest, Don, I think that's where I want to be with it.
Yeah.
I think, for me, I've got to sell it on. David?
Henry's a very fair dealer. What did you pay for it? Can you declare? Because I have a feeling Henry isn't going to go much further anyway.
No, 200.
Okay.
200.
Fair enough. I think, first of all, you did exceptionally well to buy this for 200 in a retail situation because it is still quite an undertaking for that kind of money. Yeah. Our independent valuers say 150 to 200 pounds. If you go to auction, another person like yourself, Don, may say, that's a lot of bronze for the money, that is. I fancy a little dabble at that. So it may be worth a gamble to go to auction. There may be someone there that thinks, I can use that outside, or I don't mind it. It's a good visual object. So maybe someone will put down the extra money, but that's tempting.
So, Don, we've heard what David's got to say.
Yeah.
The gamble is yours. I mean, I think I'm where I want to be. I don't think I want to give any more money for it.
I think I've got to take a gamble, really, and go to auction with it.
I wish you the very best of luck, and I hope you get back more than it actually cost you. I really do. Don, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. He's explained everything to me and I can understand his reasons for the offer he's made on it. But I still think it's worth a bit more.
So Don's gambling on making his money back at auction, but has he made the right call?
We're creeping up to your £200 now.
Find out in a few minutes. Welcome back to Dickinson's Real Deal from Skipton in North Yorkshire. Before the break, Don turned down Henry's offer of £140 for his bronze statue.
I don't think I want to give any more money for it.
I think I've got to take a gamble, really, and go to auction with it.
Don's hoping he'll get back the £200 he paid. He's joined the Duke in the sale room where it's about to go under the gavel.
You sat down with our dealer on the dealer's day, Henry. He offered you 140, which would have shown you a loss. You decided against that.
To have a gamble.
Gambling here at the auction. Reserve is 150 quid. Is it going to make 150 or more? Let's find out.
So I will start the bidding with me at 150. 150 made. 150. 160.
160. 170.
170. 170. 170. 80 anywhere. 170. 170 on commission only. Have you all done this time? Going to sell. 180.
180, just in time. We're creeping up to your £200 now.
190. 190. 190. 190, you're out behind the chair. I'm selling. Have you all done at 190?
It's just made 190, close to what you paid, under the gavel, but when we deduct the commission, you're left with £155. You've got to go out now to that car boot sale, invest that £155 and try and get back your 200 quid.
Absolutely.
On the day. The real deal was 190, 155 to take home, real deal.
Never mind, Don. It just goes to show it's not as easy as it looks to buy, sell and actually make a profit. Better luck next time. Back in the den, and a collection of postcards is next for Cheryl Halfpenny.
Let's see what the subjects are and we'll take it from there. Hello, Janet.
Hello.
Now, you've got lots and lots and lots and lots of postcards.
Have indeed, yes.
Tell me about them.
We found them in an elderly aunt's outhouse after she'd died. Unfortunately, we didn't know they were there. She was the last in the line, really, of the family, except for my husband. We could have found out much more about them because a lot are connected family-wise and her history. Earliest one, I think, is 1903. Majority of them are before 1920.
So what's made you think about parting with something that must be quite sentimental and a bit of your family history?
Well, they are really. It's the old story, the children aren't interested, of course. We have looked at them and looked at them and put them away and looked at them again. I have written down what I can find out of her history from this, where she lived, in what year. She's moved about a lot as Leonora. So we've been able to track lots of family history from them.
Well, there's all sorts, like you say, every picture tells a story.
It does indeed.
There's children here, like you say, there's churches. But my thing isn't really postcards.
No.
And like you, I think everybody else is a little bit...
Yes, yeah.
Everyone's trying to declutter. I'm going to put some money on the table.
Okay.
Don't throw the postcards at me.
Try not.
It's just going to be a one-off bid. I'd like to bid £20 for them.
No, sorry.
No.
No idea.
That's just what it's worth to me. Here's David.
Janet, she's having a laugh with us, isn't she?
She's having a laugh, David.
She's having a laugh with us.
She is indeed.
Now, you know what this is, you see. Cheryl is very well travelled. There's no Mauritius, there's no Dubai in here.
No, there isn't.
There's no Australia, there's no certain hotel in Barbados there. So they're not there, and it's not of interest, you see.
No.
Blackpool, Southport, St Towns, she doesn't want to know.
No.
Okay, so independent valuers and auctioneer, they say round about £80. Some are saying 120, 180. That might be a bit ambitious, but I think there's somewhere round 80 to £100 worth, basically. The interesting thing about these postcard collections, you can never tell until you've really been through them carefully, because sometimes there's one card there, there's an image, there's a topographical picture of Borneo in 1910 or somewhere exotic,
Precisely.
and it captures a way of life which is now disappeared forever. So let's hope there is something in these when we go to the auction that somebody will find them. We don't care about her. You go off on your holidays. We're going to auction.
Well, I think that's the best place for them.
I think that's what we'll do, Cheryl.
It's been really interesting hearing about your family.
Okay.
Good luck on the day.
Thank you very much, Cheryl.
Thank you. If there'd been a bit more historical interest of landmarks, but I think when they were just family, very difficult for me to sell.
Well, Janet's not letting Cheryl's mean offer get her down. She's still hoping for a windfall.
Well, maybe if I could touch 3 figures, I would be delighted.
Has auctioneer Kevin Kendall got high hopes?
They're a nice mixed lot. We've got lots of postcard buyers coming to our sale room and should do certainly more than the dealer offered.
Janet's put a discretionary reserve of £100 on the postcards. She's with the Duke in the sale room.
Let's see what happens. They're coming up now, your collection of postcards. What are you going to do with all this money, all this dosh, if you win it?
Well, I could go and spend it in Kendal this afternoon. Or I've got 6 grandchildren, so
Well,
maybe they'll have a little treat.
Either way, nice day out in Kendal or spend it on the grandchildren. It's coming up here, this large collection of postcards. Is it going to make the £100 reserve? Well, let's find out.
We're going to start with then 70 today, £50 somewhere. 50 if you like, after 50 for a start, thank you. £50 bid, 50 bid, 55, 60, 5, 70, 5, 80, 5, 90 now, 90 bid, 90 bid, £90 I'm selling away. Have you all done this time then? At 90,
The gamble has just gone down at £90. We have some commission to take away. That leaves £72 you'll be going home with. Are you happy with that?
Yes, I'm quite happy with that. Somebody else will enjoy them and they follow the history of the lady.
So what are you going to do with this, Dosh? Are you going out in Kendal this afternoon to treat yourself, or is it going to go to the grandchildren?
Well, I don't know. I've got a husband here, so he might want a nice lunch.
OK. Sounds like a very nice lunch for two. On the day, the real deal was here in the sale room. Hammer price, £90. Take home, £72. I tell you what, they're going to have a great lunch today, aren't they?
Our next seller to face the dealers is Kate, and she's brought along a pair of oak wall shelves.
Well, they're my grandfather's, and I have seen Joe looking at them, so I'm hoping I get a really good deal on them.
Don't you like them?
They wouldn't go in my house.
It's a surprise. Right. And you don't fancy keeping them for...
I don't really, because I've got a 6-year-old, well, he's 5, he's going to be 6, and I'm wanting to get him a nice birthday present, so obviously I'm hoping that would put towards.
Yeah.
And also he might break them as well, so it's easier to get rid of them.
They're dangerous at 6, aren't they? The biggest shame about them is that someone has varnished them. Was it you?
No.
They're oak. I like this one better than the slightly odd-looking deer. They're probably 1900, 1910, that sort of age, I think, with this funny detail I used to do. How much are they? I always try, you know, I always ask, I'll just ask.
I'm not telling you, tell me.
And everybody says that.
Yeah.
Right, okay, £50.
No, I think my son would want a better present than that.
Ah, it's nothing. You're not pulling that one on me. Don't pull that one on me. I'm sure that son's got a generous grandma.
No, I wouldn't say she
Really?
was generous.
You wouldn't?
No.
I heard she was, you see.
Somebody's told you lies.
You can't say that on national television.
Sorry, Mum.
I think she's standing behind you.
Oh no, oh no.
£70.
I would like a little bit more if possible, because that would cover the cost of his present.
But I'm not responsible for his present. To be a bit hard-nosed about it.
Please.
That's what grandmas are for.
Please.
Please. How old is he?
5.
Going on
6.
Well,
So
going
what's
on.
he called? Archie.
And how much is his present?
£89.99.
I wish Archie a very happy birthday.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Cheers.
I need pictures, mind.
Well, I'm really pleased because I got a good amount of money for it, and I'm really proud of myself that I pushed it.
She was a really nice girl, though, wasn't she? You know? And I own 2 brackets, hey ho.
Well, we'll see if you manage to sell them later, Joe. Coming up, some racy objects arrive at Cheryl's table.
Would you care to put your hand out?
I daren't.
But how far will she dare to go?
Welcome back to Dickinson's Real Deal.
Here in Skipton, sellers are still coming through the doors, looking for the best deals on their valuables. Next up is Stephen.
We've brought a silver football cup in from 1963. Well, I hope to get as much as I can for it. We'll see what the dealer offers us. You know, hopefully I'll go away with a pocket full of money. But it's granddaughter's birthday next week.
Well, Stephen, you might be in luck, as Tony's got his own reasons for liking it.
Amazingly, it's June 1963, and that's when I was born. Can you believe that? That doesn't mean I'm going to buy it, though.
I don't really know a lot about it. We were given it some 15, 16 years ago from some people that were moving the house, and we've just kept hold of it because it just looks interesting, and whether it's England and Germany or whatever, I've no idea. Like,
the shape actually looks 1930s. It's got the sort of look of George Jensen silver.
I've heard of that.
Yeah, they're good make. It's just that kind of more continental look.
Right.
Let me just have a look at this. Well, it's English. It's silver. I guess the weight, it's not a great weight to it. It's quite fine. So there must be somewhere on it. Well, the date's written on it, so that's probably why there's not a date mark on it anywhere else that I can see. all written in German, engraved in German, as you say, football. Definitely football, is it?
Yeah.
Anyway, let's see where we go. I'll have a go at it. Pull me money out, see if I can wet your whistle.
Well, we've only got 20s out, so that won't make me whistle.
There you go, 20, 40, 60. Am I getting close?
No. Yeah, no, I would have expected more than that, like.
I'm going to go one more. 80. There's not a lot of weight at all in it. But anyway, let's see what David has to say.
Right, okay.
Well, I've been scouring around with our independent values to say, what is it all about? Is it an official England team? Is it a pre-season team? Is it an under-18 team? We don't seem to really know. We know it is football memorabilia, and that in itself seems to be very interesting. The auctioneer says £200 to £300. £80 on that showing sounds a little bit on the low side, but it's a real gamble.
Yeah.
Unless Tony puts more, it may be worth sending to auction, and let's see if the auctioneer is right. £200 to £300? I'm not so sure.
So, my £80 offer is there for you happily to...
Yeah, no. I think we'll take a chance.
Yeah, great, because I'd really like to know what it's all about as well, and probably kick myself up the street and back again when it makes...
I hope so.
Well, Steve, of course, I really hope it goes well for you too.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Well, let's hope Tony will be kicking himself when the trophy goes under the hammer. Stephen can't make the auction, so has sent daughter Emma, and David has got some news for her.
Now, on the dealer's day, your dad brought along a silver engraved goblet. Now, we all looked at this and we thought, it's in German. We weren't sure what it was awarded for. The first thought was that it was probably for football, perhaps a junior club or something, but we've done some work on it since, and we now know that it was for the pentathlon. When your father sat down on the dealer's day, one of our dealers, Tony, offered him £80. And he said, no, I think it's worth a gamble. I think it's worth more than that. It's here in the sale room now. It's got a £150 reserve on it. Is it going to make it? Let's find out what happens. It's coming up now.
Start with 150 then. Start with £100. £100 if you like. £100. Somebody surely 100. Some sporting history, no? £100 if you like. Yes, no? No, nobody start me 100, thank you. 100 bid. 100 bid, now we're away. 100 bid. 110, 20, 120, I'll take 30 now. 130, 140, 150.
150 on the reserve. Suddenly it sprung to life in the room. Very quiet to start with, and then there were people holding their cards to their chest here.
150, the bid's in the room. Is that 60 online, yes, no? Or I will sell, if you're all done, at 150.
£150. Do you think Dad will be happy or pleased with that?
Very, although he'll be spending it on my grandchildren, so my children.
Spent on your children, on his grandchildren, as they always do. £150 under the auctioneer's gavel. We have to take away the commission, and that leaves you with £123. On the day, everyone seems happy. The real deal was £150 under the gavel, and they're taking home £123, real deal.
Now, some unusual items have arrived on Cheryl's table.
Never dealt in handcuffs before, but there's always a first.
Let's see if she can secure this deal.
Hello, Darren.
Hello.
Pleased to meet you, and hello, Ken.
Hello.
Now, rather interesting items you've brought along. How did you manage to own these then? You bought them at an auction? And why are you selling them?
For the holiday.
Because you want some money for a holiday?
Yeah, it does, yeah.
Okay. These two look older than the middle one. And do you think these have been policemen's handcuffs or prison handcuffs?
They look like prison to me.
They do look they're heavy, aren't they?
Heavy
So maybe
ones.
a bit too heavy to be carried around. And this one's got the key, and that one too. That one's missing the key. 19th century, maybe 20th century. Unusual, different. I'm not quite sure who I would sell them to or what they would do with them.
No, well, open to offers.
It could raise a few eyebrows.
Yeah.
But very interesting. Let's get some money out. Right, okay. 20, 40, 60, £20 each.
No.
You want some more? I think David's coming in on this risque item.
Would you care to put your hand out?
I daren't.
Okay, they're probably worth 80, 90 quid, something like that, I would have thought. I have seen them fetching 40s, 50s, 60s, depending on who buys them. I think they're probably worth 25 quid a piece, and there's still a margin of profit in those.
So, I do quite like them. I think they're quite a talking point.
Yeah.
So, what if I gave you £70? Is that any better? No. What about 75, like David suggested?
Take the £75.
Another £5. So have we got a deal at 80?
Yeah, a deal at 80.
You deal at 80? There we go. Thank you very much. Nice to meet you both.
Okay.
Well done. I wasn't intending to end up with the handcuffs, but actually they sort of grew on me, and I do think they're a great talking point and probably a good decorator's piece.
We'll see if you find a use for them later, Gerald. Coming up, our next seller takes matters into his own hands.
400.
No.
No?
No. You want me to come and give you a hand to put it out?
You can try.
Welcome to Dickinson's Real Deal from Skipton in North Yorkshire. Our last item of the day is a sovereign necklace.
I'm quite looking forward to this deal. I'm going to have a go at buying it and see what we can do.
You might have your work cut out for you, Henry. You haven't met Bill yet.
I'd like to get around about £530 or something like that. I think I'm going to get the better of Henry today, even though he's good looking.
Well, I see you brought us in a sovereign on a mount.
Yes.
What's the history behind it?
Well, my wife got it as it was a young girl, and she decided to bring it to Dickinson's Real Deal because she'd know that Henry will give her a real bargain price.
Well, we'll try and do what we can. Let's have a look at the item itself. Now, we can tell here by looking at it, we've got a gold sovereign dating to 1925.
Yeah.
Okay, but the mount is later. The mount with this design is typical of the 60s to the 70s.
Yeah.
So was it something that you had mounting up, or?
I do know she's had it a long time, and that's really all I know about it.
Right, okay. And so what are you going to do with the money?
I do help hospices and that kind of thing, and I like to, when you get a little bit, you can give a little bit back.
Absolutely, absolutely. You're obviously a very generous man.
Well, I like to think people think I'm a hard to gold type of thing.
Good. Well, what we need to do, Bill, to start with is to establish what sort of gold content we've got, because the chain itself and the mount are made of 9 carat gold, but the sovereign is 22 carat.
Yeah.
I think I better get out some money.
I hope so. Can I give you a hand to get it out?
Where should we start? 50, 1, 50, 2, 50. Am I tempting you so far?
Not really.
Not really.
I've still got cold feet.
300. Am I getting warmer?
Nowhere near.
Nowhere near?
No.
That far away?
I wish you'd start stuttering and put a few more in.
350?
No.
400?
No.
No?
No. Do you want me to come and give you a hand to put it out?
You can try. 450?
No.
Here's David.
Now, let me just tell you, Bill, there are 2 estimations here. There's 450 to 480, and then there's 4 to 6. At the moment, should that go into the melting pot, and I'm not for 1 minute saying, Bill,
No.
I do not want to be struck with your stick, but there's about 510 quid's worth of gold there.
Yeah, correct.
There's probably about 60 or 70 quid's worth of profit in sheer metal price there, unless our dealer retails it, and in that case he could get a little bit more. But going to auction can be a little bit precarious. Up to you, Bill.
Yeah, well, what I think about this...
Come on, tell me.
It's a nice piece of jewellery, and I can't see that going into a melting pot.
Well, I think you're absolutely right, but we still would judge on the sheer intrinsic value of the gold. Of course, the work would cost a lot more. Remember, Bill, that's his money, not the programme's.
No.
And when he comes back again, he needs to sell, turn over, and bring in money. But I don't think you need my help. I'm going to leave it with you, mate.
I keep smiling at him anyway, if that does any good.
Well, that was what David had to say. I'm going to offer you a bit more money, but I don't know how much higher I really want to go. 470. £490.
Just put another tenner on there.
Oh, you're a hard man.
Come on.
You're a hard man.
Well, you've got more money than me, and I've got no sense.
That's not what I've heard. If I put £10 down, do we have a deal?
Yes.
Oh, you're a hard man. There's the £10, £500. Do we have a deal?
Well, I think it's a square deal, and I'd like you to really take that £10 back, and you and David have a drink on me.
Well, it's very kind of you, Bill, but I tell you what we'll do. We'll take the £10 out and we'll give it to charity.
Well,
how about that?
The kindness is all the way around.
Bill, it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much
It's been a great
indeed.
pleasure meeting you.
And you.
Henry is a dealer. I think he's going to make the grade.
So have all our dealers made the grade with their offers today? Well, they've all made a profit, but have they done as well as our sellers? Much to her surprise, Cheryl locked down a deal on the handcuffs.
I wasn't intending to end up with the handcuffs, but actually they sort of grew on me.
They sold at a fair for a little over the £80 she'd paid. Henry made a wise investment of £500 in the gold sovereign necklace.
I love buying gold because, you know, it's almost instant cash.
Or instant profit, more like, as he got more than his money back when he sold it on. Jo was also in a buying mood today. She paid £200 for the Art Deco nightlight and sold it in the trade for a healthy sum. And she's already up on her outlay of £90 for those oak shelves, and that's after selling just one of them. Tony took the Duke's advice on the carriage clock and paid £120.
That's a clean little clock, and it's worth its money.
Yet it still left him enough room to turn a tidy profit. But today's sellers could teach us all a thing or two about buying and selling. Jane made a killing on her nightlight.
And now you can tell me what you paid for it.
I paid £1.50.
Oh, done, girl.
Well done indeed. She made herself £198.50. And Kate wasn't taking any prisoners as she fought to get enough for her son Archie's birthday present.
I would like a little bit more if possible, because that would cover the cost of his present.
I wish Archie a very happy birthday.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
I need pictures, mind.
Well, here you go, Jo. Oh, isn't that sweet?
We've had a really exciting day. There's been plenty of people here, lots of buying, lots of selling. That's just what I like to see. Don't forget to join me, David Dickinson, next time for Dickinson's Real Deal. See you.